Hi guys, I'm back with Unity tutorial number 17, and we're going to continue our navigation of all the different things in Unity. So, in the last tutorial where I left off, we had an object in the hierarchy selected, and we were looking at the different ways we can mess around with the items in the inspector. Okay, so now, you can tell it on this object, there's a transform and a sprite renderer. These are the defaults for a sprite when you bring it into Unity. Now, we're going to click these little arrows here, and this is going to toggle whether you just want to see the name of the component or you want to see the full-scale description and mess around with all the values here. Now, this is really useful, especially with scripts, because when you have variables set in scripts, a lot of times they're going to be shown as some of these properties over here, like something like this. Like pretend there'd be just a variable here, and this would be the value. Now, the reason this is so useful is so that you don't have to jump into the code and make different scripts for each scene. For example, if you want the game background to move quicker as the player progresses through levels, all you have to do is jump to each scene individually and manually change this. This would be the scene setting as opposed to the whole script setting. So this would actually override all the values in your script to whatever you set here. Really, really useful with level-oriented programming and design. Now, what I really want to go over, we have layers up here, and you have a whole bunch of settings. Default, so this is your layout of Unity. Now we went over play and pause. What else? So down here you have your project view. You also have your console view. Now the great thing about this, guys, first I'll go over the project view. You're gonna want to right click. You're gonna want to go create folder. The first step of creating any project, you're gonna want to make a couple of folders. First, you're probably gonna want to, if it's a 2D game, which I'm assuming most of you are making, you're gonna want to do sprites. You're going to want to create a folder. You're going to want to say scripts. And by no means, this is just convention. This isn't needed to make your game. But you'll thank me later when your game comes out so much better because you were actually organized and could find stuff. Scripts, sprites, audio, prefabs. And guys, remember the difference between a sprite and a prefab. Prefabs are instantiated into the scene directly through code. Sprites are placed there most of the time. It's much more convenient when you're using a lot of code to just make things prefabs and let the code take care of the rest. Actually manually control that in the code. Audio, prefab, scripts, sprites. Am I missing any? I'm probably missing one, but we'll get back to that later. So that's just how you keep your stuff organized. Then you jump into here. And then when you want to create something, you just create it right in that folder. Let's see what else. Okay, so you have your assets down here where you're going to view your entire folder hierarchy. And you could also jump down here into each specific folder. Now your console, this, I can't describe how valuable this is. You have your clear button here, which will clear the errors in your console. It's not going to clear every error. What it's going to do is once you fix an error, you hit clear. And it's going to clear all the errors that were resolved as a result of that fix. So if you hit clear and there's still errors there, that means there's still things you haven't fixed yet. Now collapse is just going to collapse all those errors into one. Clear on play, that means when you hit the play button, it's going to clear the errors that have been fixed. And error pause, not too sure what that does, haven't used that much. But the console in general, you could double click an error on the console, it'll jump into mono develop and actually show you the exact line where the error is occurring. It'll have the line written here, it'll jump into that specific script, and then you could fix that. Maybe I'll make a tutorial later on some common errors, but for now, just general debugging principles. Use your print statements. One great thing, print in Unity in what's it called? Print in like C# and stuff, and specifically for Unity, or Unity script as some call it, is debug.log. So you can actually log things to the console here. And it'll actually output that here. So your generic print statement or debug statement, it's debug.log, and that'll show up in the console here. Probably detailed in a further tutorial, but for now, that explanation is good enough. Up here you have, your non-harmful things. This is just like a little informative thing. This usually means this little exclamation mark in this just means like a warning or something wasn't used. And this right here is an actual error, the stop sign with exclamation mark. So differentiating between these three can be a big help. Don't flip out just because you see like one of these first two. That's not going to stop your game from running. Only errors will stop your game from running, guys. So you really just got to beware of that beast, and you're good to go. And I think that's about it for our Unity navigation, but I'll see you guys in the next tutorial, Unity tutorial number 18. Thanks.